Let's talk about AI in Marvel Contest of Champions and a dev diary that Kabam put out in order to update us on the situation around it. I am going to do a quick TLDR for this because it's not exactly what you'd hope it to be. And the skinny is this. It's not where it needs to be yet. It will take time, and apparently they can't commit to a release date because it is just entering into what seems to be a internal playtest. Then, when it feels right, we can't comfortably share a release timeline beyond sometime 2026 at this juncture, but things are coming along, and this remains high priority for the team as a whole, which is good. It's just a shame because this is a fighting game, right? And that's always been my issue. Like, this has always been like this fighting game first, a questing and I don't know, MMOE. It's not an MMO, but an RPG element stuff has always been, it seems like that's kind of the priority. Like, there's always something to do, but there's not enough dev time focused on stuff that matters. That's why it's taken 4 years of constant pestering for this to be, we need to focus on this. It's not been about like the monetization. And so it's been about the monetization. It's been about like, oh, we got a new quest here, Everest content there, this there, that do this, spend money here, like new ascension thing here, ranking system here, 7 stars there. But like the fighting never goes away. Like it never goes away. It'll always be there. And that obviously for me, that's where I feel has been neglected a lot from this. So, right, so that's the TLDR. Let's get into a bit of coverage. So apologies if anybody's like, oh, now we've got to listen to him drone on about stuff. But I think that's the thing. People want to they want to find out the skinny and they want to bugger off. Fine. For those that want to stick around to kind of have a look at what the context is, let's go over it. So we know, like, without again explaining the stories, in the past we've covered it on the channel. This is how the AI looks at the moment. It's crap. It's not exactly how it's meant to be. Kabam even kind of like have admitted to this. It's great to have a bit of honesty, but it's like this will be 2 years, pretty much. I feel in development to kind of get sorted. As in, like, it's not going to take 2 years from now. I mean, like, since 2024, maybe they were looking into this, and then it's like they can't deliver this properly until, I don't know, sometime in 2026. So current AI knows what buttons it can press, the distance between the two characters, what animation state each of the characters is in. The problem compared with other games is the AI is good. The AI is only good because it's been built to serve a purpose based on what the interaction is. And it doesn't have to deal with any of the piddly crap around debuffs, interactions, abilities, nodes, and other piddly crap that normally comes from what is in this game. This game has something that's just like that, but kind of ramped up to the 9, but is still surplus to requirements because it's too reactive for what is optimization, interaction, and other types of things around how you play the game on various different types of devices. It's not one size. It's one size fits all, but it doesn't. It's Kabam attempting to one size fits all, but it doesn't fit all in terms of how it functions. So the AI doesn't have any memory of what happened earlier in the fight or even the previous frame, have any ability to plan for the future, have any idea of what buffs, debuffs, masteries, nodes, etc. even are, let alone which are active, which of course just means that you're like, it just feels like, it's not feels, it is unfair. It's not feels unfair, it is unfair. And of course, like, AI is just a frame perfect button masher. It is. There's no real intelligence behind why it chooses to do something. It's just using weighted random rolls, mash buttons until it finds the valid input, and it has no ability to learn. This also means that its most behaviors, player experiences are an emergent property of its many weighted die rolls rather than something that was intentionally designed. Yeah, I'm going to put it further myself. And if those behaviors weren't intentionally designed, then they are functionally impossible to edit without wide-reaching consequences, which is why we started building something new. Like, I am frustrated that this is not something that's been a high priority for a very long time. Not that it was for the last year, but I am glad at least they're dealing with it. It's just a waiting that I'm like, well, how long do we have to wait to go into something like Alliance Wars and go, oh my God, why isn't the enemy throwing a special attack? Why aren't they doing that? Why are they holding on to it? Same Battlegrounds. Like, there's a timer there, for God's sake. And that again is the frustrating thing around, well, Kabam put timers in. I mean, we got like a timed kind of like top of the charts thing at the moment, the tower. I love the tower. I think it's a great mode. But unfortunately, a lot of the new stuff that's being built is then met with very kind of like poor AI, which then is like, it's sad because like they're brand new decent game modes that are just kind of like tarnished by that they're trying to fix, right? So better or worse, current AI in the game and the players justify have lots of expectations around how it does and should behave. Players have only known the worst. So anything in an improvement, it's an improvement. AI 2.0, our goal is to get close to the current AI experience as possible initially, but built on a better, more interactive infrastructure. We know it won't exactly the same, but our goal is to get close as possible, to make things better where it's different, and most importantly, to have laid solid foundations of future improvements. So let's talk about some of those foundations. Also, I want to point out, like, this is why Kabam have always said we like to roll things out and test it by players. So make sure as many players play as possible when the first iterations of the play test is done. Or length of time, like earmark a day for it and go, today we're going to be doing, like, there's no Battlegrounds, there's no this, there's no that, there's no that. It's a Sunday or whatever. We're going to roll out for game for that. Or join the play test for the AI and give your thoughts on that. So there's a perception system that allowed to analyze the actions of current AI could take on any given frame, which action it did take, and integrate that into our fight replay system. That's good. This allowed us to better quantify the current AI's emergent behavior trends in data. Below is the example of the data with measured weights removed. And it says that while the new system is making various choices than we've ever had with the current system. That's good, because it means that they can like alter stuff. Player base is saying something's not great when it comes to blocking, dodging, or dashing. They can go in and change it. Not like at the moment where they can't do anything because they can't keep any control of it. But at least they can kind of like have a look at those base levels. Memory system, from the groundwork, the perception system, we were able to build out a working memory. AI 2.0 can now remember what happened earlier in the fight and use that to influence its decision making. So I guess if it's being like, well, you assume that if it's being unfair, then maybe it could be more fair, something like that. This doesn't mean that the AI will be able to learn. We haven't and can't build a Skynet, but if we ask it when it lasts through a heavy, it will now know the answer. We won't be using the system to reproduce current behaviors, but it's critical for future fixes, such as improving the experience of baiting out special attacks. Yes. So that's good. That's what I'm talking about. They can literally find out how unfair the AI is being. It's dodging too much. It's throwing too many specials. It's not throwing specials. So we need to deal with that. It's thrown specials 20% of the time when holding close to an SP3. Well, we can fix that. Like, that is what I want to see dealt with. Fortunately, it can't be done yesterday, but this is the step in the right direction, and a positive one at that. AI logic blocks, we've also created the ability to codify more complex behaviors, not just specific animations, parrying and intercepting, so that we can modify these individually in the future without the scary knock-ons. Our starting point of these blocks will usually be reconstruct the existing emergent behaviors for good or ill, but further changes will be much more predictable. Again, another kind of like good thing. It's just checks and balances around AI, right? As an example of kind of work we're doing right now and of why it doesn't lend itself well to playable demos, here's a terrifying example. Okay, here we go. This is what the AI will look like if we program it to try to avoid as many of your attacks as we can with dexterity. Oh, this is not something we ever intend to include in our game-wide AI, but it's perhaps intuitively kind of thing that we have to build if we want to prevent it. Using another previous example, we just tell the AI, light intercept the attacker less, unless it knows what that means. So we have to teach it to light intercept as perfectly as possible, codify the behavior in logic blocks, and then tell it to do that specific thing less, much less. We can't just teach it teach it halfway, or we'll only be able to prevent it halfway. This works absolutely critical for the kind of changes both we and you want, but weirdly means that much more current work is building things we intend to block out. As much as I think I am quite desperate to see this stuff in game. I feel that they've got to do this right. It's doing a job, but doing it by halves. It's like a lot of players, including myself, like I'm desperate to see this improvement, just to improve that enjoyment with the game again when it comes to like playing, without having to kind of like have the issues of they're not throwing a special attack, time's ticking down. I'm playing something like Battlegrounds. There's a timer ticking. It's not throwing a special attack. I'm going to eat special to the face. Loads of little things like parries, intercepts. Just AI recovery time, like stuff like that. That's one issue. Hitting to block counter by special. Hate that. Never been dealt with. Maybe they will do via this. Anyway, I mean, we know that it's not going to be instant, but they've said that we've been devoting resources to these updates for a long time. The good news is that we're rapidly approaching a broader internal playtesting at AI 2.0, meaning we feel close to the point where broader feedback will actually be helpful. We're a little uncertain on the stage of how much iteration beyond that is going to take hit. It feels right, Barb. We can't comfortably share release timeline beyond sometime 2026 at this juncture, but things are coming along and this remains high priority. However, our intention is that once we feel it's in a good enough state, we'll be rolling it out for players to try in a piece of bespoke content. Love that. Yeah, good. Similar to how we initially tested things like strikers and the route mechanic. We intended to build that content carefully to show off high impact AI behaviors and to let you see the new system. I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad that they're doing it in a kind of everybody gets a chance. This is it. Not CCP. Not a small amount of people get to kind of like play it. It's everybody. Everybody gets to sit at the table. Everybody gets to experience it. That's what I want to see. And that I like. But it's just time, isn't it? Not getting any younger, but I really would like to see an improvement in AI. Anyway, maybe we'll get there, and the consensus is to turn it on everywhere as soon as possible, which would be a great problem to have, but this isn't something we intend to rush because it's something we intend to get right. Good. Okay. So final thoughts on it. I like the approach, make sure to take time and get it done. It's kind of, as much as people moan about GTA 6 like being delayed, the reason that they're taking the time is to do it right. This is important as well. It's just because it's been so long, so many years of it being like a secondary thing that needs to be dealt with. I'm just a bit too kind of like, I want to see this now. Players have lost, we've lost players because of this game, because of these AI. New players have been pissed off with the AI. It's been recovery time's too high. The hitting to block counter by special, all these things. Like, how long can players hold on with this? I know players will, right? And I will still hold on, but I just want to see it. Like, I really want to see this. What are your thoughts on it? Put it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video, whatever that will be covering. Bye.